I want you to consider everything you know about legs. The knee, the calf, the ankle, different parts we're all familiar with. This leg here specifically is a disgusting leg, but it's a leg. We can confirm that much. There's hair to prove it. It has a little bit of a curve, as you'll notice, right along the calf right here. And while my original theories thought that this area on the front, the shin, would show more of a muscle definition, this one here doesn't really. The back calf remains somewhat in the middle of the leg. As you can see, it's not taking place primarily up in this zone. It's kind of down in the middle. And while there is this curvature, it's pretty minimal. And you could clearly make out the knee. It's a small round shape there. It doesn't go down on a slope the entire way down. You'll also notice this crack kind of moves in there. I just want you to take a look at this picture for another 5 seconds. Study it. Be familiar with it. Okay, and we're good. Now I want you to take a look at this. Tell me if that looks like a leg at all. The calf, as you can see, is the most oddly shaped calf I've ever seen in my life. It takes place almost completely up there. You look at this crack, and it seems to be almost all the way into his knee. So unless he's had some horrible accident where his leg was almost cut completely clean off, and even then it doesn't make a lot of sense given that his calf would just randomly kind of end up here. Like, you gotta imagine the gap that would exist just in between the top of his calf and his thigh. This guy either has the thinnest thigh of all time to accommodate this weird, oddly high calf, or, well, there is no or. That just isn't the case. As you can see, his knee also doesn't really have a pronounced round curve. If you go back to this image we were looking at, you can kind of see where it starts to bend up there. On this one, it almost just slopes down the entire way. Now, that one might not be conclusive enough. You can say, well, you know, the picture's cropped wrong, so that's fine. You could take that piece of evidence out. I still think this stands for itself. I still think this stands for itself. And this is, even though this resembles so much that ankle in that last picture, I think this curve is a lot more sudden. This is way more subtle. You can see it's way more subtle. That just does not look like a shin, ladies and gentlemen. It just doesn't. Even when you flip it, like if there was ever a way that would make it look like a leg, it would be this. This would be its natural orientation. I'm also starting to debate that seems rather short for a leg, I personally think. And really, like, it's the shape. Look at how wide that is. You know, just the sheer width of this leg. And I would presume that's his right leg. So there's no hair, but hold on. That's his right leg, right? Like, there's no leg on the other side of it. Meaning if he's laying down and this is his shin, this has to be the leg on his right side of his body. So while he's taking this picture, he's somehow contorting his body so that his left is completely out of frame over there. Which, okay, fair enough, might be completely plausible. Same with, I guess, taking a tattoo and putting it on the inside of your right leg. Your hairless right leg, for that matter. I just don't see it. You could see the stretch marks. This picture thankfully gave us one thing, in that it's in high enough definition that you could see his stretch marks. Now, it might be plausible to get stretch marks in that area next to your knee, I guess, but more likely that it's from some arm flub, right? If we flip this back around to normal orientation, that's his armpit. I'm making a video. As you can see, I have a team of litigators, detectives, and forensics in the background trying to help me crack this thing. That's a hairless armpit. I mean, there's no two ways about that, which is kind of strange. I would consider this not to be a human at all. It's very possible this is from a different planet, hence the planetary tattoo. You could also make out there's a little bit of an elbow here, if you choose to see it. And I will say, even for a shoulder, and I feel that looks more like a shoulder than it does a knee, this arm has a weird damn shape. That is an ugly fucking arm. But ugly or not, that just isn't shaped like a damn leg. It just isn't. This calf is too far out, too high up. It's too wide. This curves too much. This doesn't look like a knee, or it's the most flat knee I've ever seen in my life. And this little crack goes in way too far, almost to the middle of his knee. And you could see there's no gap in right here. That's skin. So it's not like this is just like creating a seal between his calf and the top of his thigh. It's pure skin all the way through. That is his armpit. That cannot be a leg. This has been debunking the leg theory.